Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everyone. My name is Maretha Andari, and this is my partner Azzahra Meisya, Imma Salsabila Putri, and Salsabila Nurul Fatiya. Today we will to explain about Mid 14 in Intermediate Academic English. First, listening. In Intermediate Academic English, the listening focus on short conversation. There are so many skills you need to well master in order to be competent in long conversation and long talks. The skills are anticipating and determining the topics, answering in order, and making conclusion about the people, place, time, each other while listening to either conversation or talks. After well understanding the skill in long conversation and talks, the student can test, compare, and relate every question to the conversation and talks. To be able to correctly answer the question in long conversation, there are some things you must remember. First, scan the answer choice before listening to the question. Remember, there is about 12-second interval between a question and the text question. Use the interval to scan the answer choice. Then it is very helpful for you to anticipate either to the topics or the question. Second, give more focus to the beginning of the conversation. In long conversation, most of the topics are introduced. In the beginning, it contains main idea, subject, or topic of the conversation. Questions related to them frequently appear. Third, while you are listening to the long conversation, try to carefully listen and keep in your mind about who, what, where, when, why, and how. This question, of course, will appear. 4. While you are listening to the long conversation, look carefully the choice and pick the best answer. 5. Fifth. Even though you are not sure for your answer, do not leave the answer blank. Wrong answer is score 0, but it does not reduce your score. Now, let's some strategies for long conversation.
Okay, now I will explain about structure expressions. There are many grammatical topics in intermediate academic English. Sentence with two clauses are frequently discussed here. When learning sentence with two clauses, it is also important to understand the tenses, modals, comparison, etc. Intervention and other interesting topics are also discussed here. And now look at the example. The answer is C, used to be. In this sentence, Harvard used to be a single gender school. The phrase used to is used to indicate a past condition or state. It implies that in the past, Harvard was exclusively for one gender, but now it has changed and is open for both men and women. The best answer for the second example is A, in contrast to. This option accurately reflects the contrast between the skills required of linguistics and the fields of study linguistics. In contrast to is a common phrase used to highlight the differences between two related subjects or ideas.
Hello, my name is Salsabila Nurul Fatiya and I'm here to explain about structure and written expression. There are many grammatical topics discussed in intermediate academic English. Sentences with two clauses are frequently discussed here. When learning sentences with two clauses, it's also important to understand the tense modal comparison, inversion, and other interesting topics are also discussed here. 1. Adverb clause in definition. An adverb clause means a word or sentence consisting of a subject and a verb. which then function as a complement in a sentence. Often, an adverb clause becomes one important element in a sentence when explaining important things that support an event, such as where the incident occurred, while the incident occurred, how much influence was exerted on the incident, and how the incident occurred. For example, sentence and word used in adverb clause also vary and have many types of influence on the sentence. So adverbial clause is a dependent clause that serves as an adverb and gives information about a verb. Adjective or adverb in a dependent clause with the ability to address questions like how, when, where, and why. 2. Formulas of adverbial clause and its use. In its use in sentence, adverbial clause have their own formula to be applied. 3. Difference between adverb clause and adverb phrase. When it comes to clauses, it's important to know the difference between them and phrase. Adverb clause always have subject and a predicate. Example: A. If he is late. When I see my father before I go back to the office. Adverb phrase do not have a subject and a predicate. Example: Yesterday morning, very carefully, quiet easily, to understand better, after a few minutes, were happily ever after, and so on. 4. Difference between adverb clause and adjective clause. Previously, we discussed how to distinguish an adverb clause from an adverb phrase. It's pretty easy to remember how to tell the difference. Next, we will discuss the difference between an adverb clause and an adjective clause. So that's the explain of structure and written expression from me and Azzahra Meisya. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Imma Salsabila Putri who will explain material about reading. Reading. This part demonstrates reading comprehension skills for finding the meaning of vocabulary, pronoun, reference, and bragging questions. To make good use of these skills, students should also be proficient in the skills described in basic academic English. Here the example of reading comprehension. My name is Hans. I'm a mechanic. I live in London. I have a brother and a sister. My sister is a university student. He studies medicine. She is going to be a doctor. My brother doesn't want to go to university because he wants to be a mechanic like me. He comes and helps me in my shop Sundays. He hasn't finished his education yet. After his education, he is thinking of working with me. We will run the business together. Thank you.